I gave you my heart.
Hi Sagittarius, this is Alyssa with Twin Cup Tarot, and this is going to be a reading for the, oh, there goes Max. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of April. But as usual, keep in mind that energy is fluid, time is an illusion, roles can be reversed, and this may not be your story. And that's okay, there's so many amazing readers out there, one of them will resonate with you. Max has made a surprise appearance at the beginning of your reading. That might have some significance. You might have some fur babies that are trying to get your attention this month. So, keep in mind that animals are very energetically sensitive. So if you notice interesting behavior from your fur baby, pay attention. They're trying to tell you something, okay? Sorry about all the background noise, guys. I'm actually doing laundry. But I figured, this reading, I felt like it really needed to get out. When I tapped into your energy, Sagittarius, what I felt was it was just this feeling of fear, anxiety, okay? But it wasn't fear of something that was going on right now. It was almost, for some of you, I got fear about something that could happen. You're basically worried how something's going to play out. Some of you are feeling fear because you made a decision and now you're like, oh no, I think that might have been the wrong decision. Some of you might be really worried about repercussions. Maybe you did something that you realize now with hindsight was maybe, I'm getting so many stories, Sagittarius, so this might resonate with a lot of you, might not resonate, and that's okay. But I'm getting some of you did something that was okay. If you feel like you did something wrong, I'm basically getting that now you're like, oh crap, that was a bad decision. Am I going to get in trouble? Or, oh, that was a bad decision. How am I going to pay for this later? It could be that you made a decision, where there was something really difficult that you had to contemplate and there was no right quotation decision, but you had to go with your gut and now you're like, oh, second guessing yourself. For some of you, this was a huge decision on your part. It might have been related to dissolving a relationship or getting into a relationship. And if it has to do with a friendship, it could be, once again, dissolving a friendship or trusting someone with a secret. There's just something here that, yeah, I just get a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of what if this happens? Oh, what if this happens? That kind of thing. Let's start drawing cards, Sagittarius. I feel like a card flipped in here somewhere. Maybe, oh, there we go. Oh, we don't want that card. Let's put that back. No, just kidding. I tell you what, as a tarot reader, there are times and I'm like, oh, I would never do it because you got to be completely, open with what you're seeing and you got to be completely truthful. But sometimes as a tarot oracle reader, I want to be like, let's just slip that card back into the deck because that just changed the whole meaning of the whole reading. Let's just slip that back into the deck. Which actually, that might actually be a message for you, Sagittarius. You might be like, let me take this one decision, let me take this one situation, possibly this one mess up, and let me just put that over here. Let me just hide that. Oh, Sagittarius. Okay, so my first thought that I just had was, okay, so there's a young child, okay, who does something bad. Let's say, okay, perfect example. When I was a child, we had a huge tank of fish. And I want to say, I can't remember if they were tropical fish or if they were goldfish. I don't remember what kind of fish they were. I was really young. We're talking like 3 or 4 years old, but I remember doing this. And I got up one morning really, really early before my parents got up. And I went over to the fish and I was like, oh, they look hungry. They look really hungry. So I grabbed the fish food and I dumped all the fish food into the water. Okay. In my mind, I was feeding them their meal. Like, I was feeding the hungry fish. And then I'm watching them, and I was always an early riser. So this is like a couple hours of watching them, just, being awake before my parents were up. And then all of a sudden, all the fish just kind of went belly up to the top, And of course, I'm like, even at 3 or 4, I know something bad just happened. I know that I made a major boo-boo. Okay? And I don't want that spanking, okay? I don't want to be in trouble. So I grabbed my blanket, my blanket that I carried everywhere, and I draped it over the fish tank, okay? I draped it over the fish tank. And I thought, because I covered it up, because I hid it, that my parents weren't going to find out. Okay, so my parents come out, they see the blanket over the tank, and you know that big light bulb came up, that big warning signal came into their mind. Oh, those poor fish. I still feel bad to this day. Yes, I was like 3 or 4, maybe even younger, but I still feel bad to this day for those fish. But anyway, of course, they pulled the blanket up, and I was in trouble. Okay, so I feel like that's relevant here, Sagittarius. If there's something you did, a decision you made, and it backfired like that, something that you did in an innocent manner or you did with good intentions, but now you're like, oh, that was a bad decision. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. My advice to you, don't hide it. Because not only did I get in trouble for my action, I got in trouble for trying to be deceitful, for trying to hide it and not owning up to the decision I made, okay? So what I'm seeing here, Sagittarius, is, first of all, own up to your mistake, come forward with it before it is discovered, okay? Because if you take that action and you come forward and say, hey, look, this is what happened, this is my decision, this is the decision I made, and I realized that it was a poor choice on my part, or I realized that I could have chosen differently in this manner. By doing that, you're showing a sense of maturity and integrity that is actually going to help you get through this in a way that is a little more positive. For a lot of you, I believe this has to do with it could have to be in the workplace. It could have to do with your stability. But either way, I basically see, I'm going to take a look at these cards for just a second because I feel like there's more here. I basically see that this was a lesson, but it's a hard lesson, okay? So don't beat yourself up, Sagittarius. Don't beat yourself up, okay? This is something that had to happen. It's one of those lessons that basically cause us to fall, cause us to feel emotions we don't want to feel. But, I'm getting that the reason this happened was because you needed to, not to condone if you made a decision that was incorrect and you knew that it was incorrect. I'm not condoning that, okay? Not condoning that. But I am saying, the decision has been made for a majority of you already. And now that we're going into April, because I'm a little late on my readings, you might be... Sorry, that's kind of loud. Sorry about the background noise, guys. I feel like now you're like, okay, well, crap. I planted the wrong bush. I meant to plant a raspberry bush, but this is actually blackberries. And now I'm only finding out because they're sprouting. Because now I have blackberries and not raspberries. Well, what do I do now? And I basically see that there's this new period of instability where your patience is being tested. And you're sitting back, and with this King of Wands and the Sun in reverse and the Eight of Swords in reverse, my first thought in regards to that is some of you might take that anxiety, that fear, turn it into anger. And I'm actually seeing that some of you might lash out at those around you. Don't do that, Sagittarius, because that's just going to keep this cycle going. You're going to keep doing things that you regret and have to feel upset about later and have to backtrack on later. Don't do that. Don't do that, Sagittarius. This is a time to really tap into this temperance energy. Okay, when you have that overwhelming feeling of fear, that overwhelming feeling of anxiety, instead of letting that, well, you can't always control it. If it turns into irritation or anger when someone is speaking to you because you're so overwhelmed, pause. It doesn't matter how it looks to them. It doesn't matter if you have to be silent or turn away for a moment. Pause. Take a breath. Deep breath. And go, be honest. Hey, look, there's a lot on my mind at the moment. I know you need your answer right now. Give me just a second to finish this and I'll get right back to you, okay? Or, hey, look, I'm just in an awful mood. Can we talk about this later? Just, it doesn't have to be flowery. It doesn't have to be sweet, even. Just to the point. Just don't take it out on them. And the best way to do that is to put up the warning label. Hey, caution, do not approach, or back away slowly, just a warning label. Give them the opportunity to go off unscathed, okay, Sagittarius? Because Sagittarius, you have a very powerful, passionate energy. I mean, you're the archer. Just be careful. Just be careful that instead of sending arrows of love and arrows of passion and excitement and, basically just positivity, try not to ding them in the ass with a sharp arrow, okay? Do your best. Do your best, Sagittarius. Even if that means, pulling back and then having some alone time, okay? If you can really get your emotions together, if you can really get control over the situation in terms of how you react, if you can curb that behavior of lashing out, then I basically see that you're going to be able to fix this problem, this issue, this mistake, quotation mark, easily, okay? You just have to master your emotions right now, Sagittarius. I'm seeing that that's the only thing that might keep you in this cycle longer. If you can't master your emotions, if you can't get your irritation, your anxiety, your fear under control, this is going to last longer. But the minute that you go, no, okay, I messed up, or it is what it is, like I said, some of you, there was an impossible decision you had, and there was no right decision, and you did the best you could. Okay, and you knew that there would be fallout either way. It was just a matter of how much fallout, okay? If that's the case too, then this is basically you going, okay, the decision was made. It sucked. We rode through it. We're okay. We're doing okay. Let's rebuild, okay? That's what I'm seeing. So even though this is a really difficult energy, Sagittarius, I'm basically getting that you have everything you need to pull yourself out. And even though this is the major message, I'm seeing that if you can't control those emotions, the toxic emotions, the emotions that aren't good for you or anyone else around you, then could be something you deal with for all of April and maybe even into May. But if this is something you can get under control early, if you can lock down that toxic emotion early, then this is something that you could deal with immediately and move out of immediately, okay? So let's get some more cards here, because like I said, if you can get out of this quickly, then other things are going to happen for April. So let's just ask if my Sagittarius can learn this lesson quickly, if they can move out of this energy quickly, what else is coming in for them in April? I feel like all these cards want to come out, but they aren't flipping. I'm kind of hearing it's up to you, baby. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. 2 of Wands. Contemplation, decisions. Look, Hanging Man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's your decision, babies. It's your decision. It all depends on how you deal with this situation, okay? Once again, be careful with your words, Sagittarius. Be careful with your words. Because I basically... So, with this, I see that, if you can move out of this energy fairly quickly, not master, but at least get your emotions under control, that are the toxic emotions under control, then you'll kind of get into this more peaceful mindset of, okay, so we're rebuilding, what did I learn from this? Or we're rebuilding, okay, how can we make this even better? Okay. How can we improve this situation even more so it doesn't happen again? Or how can we, get the most out of the situation in a positive way? And with this Hangman in reverse, I'm basically seeing action here. And with this Death in reverse, I basically see that, I kind of see starting anew here. And really moving into something new. That ending already happened, it's past, it's done, and now we're moving on to a new cycle here. But once again, with this Queen of Wands, the Five of Wands, the King of Swords in reverse, and the Ace of Wands, I'm basically seeing that in April, even after you get through this energy, you still got to be careful not to let there be an energetic hangover from the overwhelming issues you dealt with. Be careful with your words, Sagittarius. Try not to pick fights with the people around you, the people you really care about. Don't let your tongue become a double-edged sword. Try not to just hand unhappiness to other people, okay? And I don't feel like that's in your nature. I feel, so the last 2 months for Sagittarius in terms of your readings, I got a lot of energy where you guys were giving unconditionally, not feeling like you were being appreciated. No one was telling you thank you, and you just felt burnt out. You were really wondering. I felt like this depression in February and March for you guys. Really just feeling unappreciated was the biggest part of it, okay? And I can't remember what I called that first reading for February. I want to say it was when the giver never receives. I can't remember. But basically, a lot of you, I was telling you to take time to yourself, really have those moments to rejuvenize your energy, to just not let yourself become too drained is what I was seeing for the last couple months, okay? This might have to do with that. If you guys didn't take that time to yourself, if you didn't take that time to, I'm just not thinking of the right word here. It's not rejuvenate, revitalize? I don't know. Basically just taking time to relax. And oh man, I feel in this energy, it's hard to think. This whole reading has been pretty hard to do, because honestly, with that fear, with that anxiety, you guys might not be thinking very logically, and that can be difficult when you're trying to control your emotions, okay? But I'm seeing a lot of burnout here. A lot of burnout. So I'm getting that even though the last 2 months I totally recommended that you guys take 10 minutes every single morning, every single night, even if 5 minutes, just to do something you love, whether it's read, drink your coffee, go outside, something just for you. I feel like a lot of you didn't do it. I feel like a lot of you, if you resonated with those readings, you might have gone, yeah, I don't feel appreciated. Yeah, I should do that. But I get the feeling a lot of you just kept giving more than you could afford to, weren't taking time to yourself, and I feel like a lot of you added more and more and more to your plate, and yet you just became more and more overburdened. But as you became overburdened, instead of taking a step back, dropping a couple of those sticks that were weighing you down, I get the feeling that you guys just took on more and more and more, and you might have gotten more and more upset. Maybe you started lashing out at others before this month even started, okay? Just because you're feeling so weighed down, so anxious. And now I see that for some of you, this decision that you had to make, the reason why it backfired, the decision you made, is because it wasn't made in the right mindset. The decision wasn't made with a clear head, is what I'm seeing. So, I'm going to get a card or two from the Submerged deck. How are we doing on time here? 20 minutes? Okay, we're doing good. So I'm going to get a card or two from the Submerged deck here. Just a little bit of advice for you, Sagittarius. I feel like that one wanted to come out. Wow. Wow. Okay, what can I... Okay, so we have never be afraid or worried to ask for help or to just talk about things. And don't trap your mind in darkness. The light will show you the path. I don't even think I need to elaborate on those. I really don't. I think you guys know. That pretty much just goes with the reading. I feel like a lot of you who resonated with this, you're the giver. Okay, in almost every situation, you're the giver, and you give and you give and you give. But it comes to a point where you have to accept when someone else wants to give to you. There are times when you have to receive, or there's an unhealthy exchange of energy, because essentially you have one party being drained while the other is just receiving, receiving, receiving. And that doesn't work. There has to be a balance of some sort when we're talking about energy. So this is basically saying, accept help from others. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And I'm just seeing that once again, if you know you made the wrong decision, be upfront about it, come clean with it, come forward with it and be like, hey, look, this is what happened. I made a mistake, or I made the best decision I could, but this is how it resulted. How can I get through this in a healthy manner? What's your advice? Can you help me out here? Okay. And don't trap your mind in darkness. The light will show you the path. Don't trap your mind in this anxiety. Don't trap your mind in this fear. Okay. Take a deep breath. Try to control those toxic emotions. Seriously, take time to yourself. Take time to pull back and do some thinking, but look at this from a positive standpoint. How can I fix this? How can I make this better? How can we build this up again? Don't dwell in, I made a mistake. What's going to happen? Am I going to get in trouble? Am I going to lose something? Is this person going to hate me? That's all going to drag you down. Don't even worry about that. Don't worry about that at all. Don't worry about that. I can't say that enough, Sagittarius. Be concerned with how you can make it better. Period. Period. All right, Sagittarius. I know that was a little rough, but I know you guys will get through this. I know you will. A lot of signs are having a hard time in April. It could have to do with the pandemic that's going on right now that has tension and anxiety, through the roof right now. But I know we're all going to pull through this together. We just have to do our best to stay grounded and stable during this time of difficulty. All right, Sagittarius, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below and let me know if this resonates with you. I love you guys so much. Take care.